The audio.
Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey guys. Welcome to Deep in Your Business. Deep in Your Business.
That's right.
Mikey Mike, that's right, right,
Yes,
Mike?
sir.
All right.
Let's go.
I don't know. Let's see how four guys and deep in your business,
How deep we can go in the business.
Yeah, I hope y'all don't go financially. I'm not a rich guy.
We
Right.
cannot go that deep in your finances.
No. I got Jesus finances.
The wire is gonna go behind you.
Okay,
And
this
remember,
one.
try not to get too churchy. You don't have to.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just gonna, I'm cracking
Look.
jokes for the Lord.
Look, set like behind your.
All right, cool.
So when I do your shorts, it'll. Can it go behind the? See if it'll go behind the pillow.
This right here.
Yeah, there you go. Now we going deep in your pillow, baby.
All right. Hope the Tooth Fairy have $1 for me tomorrow morning. Since everybody going deep in my business, but let's see if I can make $1 from this gentleman.
All right, let's get started. Boom. Alvaro should be pointing at me. Here we go. My name is Dr. Iglesias, and this is Deep in Your Business. I'll be your host, along with Álvaro Salim Noriega de los Hoyos. Did I get it right this time? It's not de los Hoyos. De Hoyos.
Yeah.
Bro, why is Hispanic got difficult names,
Hey,
bro.
don't worry about it. My name is Chaparro.
I know.
It's Mexicano.
Mike Casanova.
Hey.
And today
What's up?
we're with my good friend, man, Shadrach Chaparro. What a name,
You know
bro.
what Spanish people call me? Chaparrito.
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 How tall are you, bro?
I'm not Chaparrito sized.
Chaparrito's like 5'4", 5'5". You're like,
I got like 3 inches over Chaparritos.
there you go. You're good, man. So praise God. Mike, what's up with the heat, bro?
I don't know. I always say it's that same thing I said last year is what I'm gonna say this year.
Yeah.
Can we just lose the play-in?
You know, it's like
Can we just lose it, get it over with, and start a new season?
start a new season. I said the
and
same
dump
thing.
the
man.
roster. Let's do something different, bro.
Said is looking at it
I-
like,
I'm
I-
just
think
so
they
upset
gonna
with the Heat
I
right
beg to
now.
differ.
No, I think they're not gonna dump the roster. I think they just need to dump Kevin Love onto the basketball court and let Kevin Love spread the love around the court with Bam Adebayo. Get that Kevin Love Bam Adebayo sequence going
Whatever
on.
they need to do to make it happen, bro. Please.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Please,
Something.
please.
Sometimes not. I know how every Heat fan feels. When you see a great sequence,
Yeah.
and you know that like 4 guys could get and do a podcast, or like 5 guys could play, run a game of basketball.
Yeah.
When you have that sequence and when it gets real during the playoffs, or like if
You're
you're
right.
in the gym.
Yeah.
I don't think
Change
you
it
guys.
up.
Yeah,
Let's
I
see.
think Jimmy Butler and him don't have that sequence yet, where it's like, hey, I got an option out there.
Chemistry? You're saying the chemistry, maybe?
Kevin Love.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Kevin Love, they acquired him, but he never really got to that chemistry level.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens, man.
Yeah.
But anyways, today, you have an interesting story, man. It's because about 8 months ago, you actually took someone's life. And before we jump into it, there's a lot of people in the hood, man, that are wondering, man, what happened? Because, rumors spread like wildfire. And we want some facts, man. We want to know what happened. And by the way, this is called the mic stand. You don't have to hold it. I know you're a rapper and you're used to that chicken, check. so
That's the shit. You're funny.
So we want to know what led up to that. So it was over a girl, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was over a girl that I knew since I was young. We used to get the private school bus together.
I'm over here, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just, a miscommunication between her boyfriend, social media, and, pride.
But what happened? Like, you met her where? Where did you meet this young lady?
When my mom got deported, my mom used to pay for a private school bus for us to go to school instead of public school bus. So
Got
I
it.
met her on a private school bus.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said she was disabled?
Yeah, she was disabled, handicapped, so every morning when the bus stops at her house, 6:30 in the morning, I gotta be the one that open the door for her, be very caring, a gentleman, and
That's very nice.
yeah,
man.
it's just being nice,
So that was when you were in middle school. When was that?
Middle school.
Okay, so now we're fast forwarding. You're 28 years old. So we're talking about, years later. Now this happens.
No, it took from me going to college 28 to Facebook started to happen in social
I
media.
understand, but what I mean is, so you kind of liked her during that time, but now we're fast forwarding so many years later, and now this incident takes place. Is
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
we was just friends. I didn't
Got it.
was trying to talk to her, but this incident happened because social media has a lot of wrongs where it could be an easy moment where you could just disassemble what's going on. Sometimes you might just miscommunicate with somebody or just might have a raw moment and things could flare up. Guns can come
Right.
out really quickly online,
Right.
and those guns online could be at your front house, at the front line at
I
your
get it.
door.
Before we go there,
Mm-hmm.
so I want you to be specific. We don't want you to be general. So you had sent your music to her because you were promoting your music, right?
Yeah, I promoted my music to her,
And he took it the wrong way.
He took it the wrong way.
Like if you were trying to talk to her.
Take her out.
To take her out. Okay.
Yeah, to a club or something. So I guess he misinterpreted it as
okay.
it might be one of those nights I might be performing and I might be inviting her to come out.
I got you.
But it was
Okay.
not like that.
Okay, so then what happened? He replied through her email, her social media,
Yeah, so
and he was threatening you? Like, what happened?
he replied through her Instagram,
Okay.
and then I was like, this is not the right way to do stuff like this.
What did he say? What did he reply? Like, stop talking to my girl? Like, what did he
First,
say?
it was through her Instagram,
Right.
where he's like, stop talking to my girl.
Got it.
So I told him, hey, look, man, this is not your girl. Let me just be real with you. This is, such and such and such and such. I'm not even dealing with it. But then his Instagram calls me next, and he's like,
Okay.
I'm going to be in front of your house. What's the address?
Now, he just came out of prison. Didn't he do how long was he in prison before that happened, or jail?
I think he's in jail for like 24 months. He just got out of
He
prison.
just got out of prison.
Just literally just got out of prison. And his brother is in prison too, and the other
Got
one's
it.
free. So him getting out of prison is just another thing that just tacked on that survival, because I know I might just die with his threats. It was serious.
Right. So we're trying not to get ahead. So now he's threatening you. How was he threatening? Was he sending you pictures of a gun? How was he threatening
Pictures
you?
of guns on Instagram, pictures of the bullets,
Oh,
what
wow.
kind of bullets he has, what
And
kind of clip
what was he
has.
writing? Like, I'm gonna get you. Like, what?
Yeah,
what
he
was
says,
writing?
when you're down bad is the most easiest point I can catch you. And I was like, when I'm down bad, I'm like, yo, I know I'm greater than being down bad. I literally went and took a shower and waited for him.
Right, but before we get there, how many days? You see what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to build the story.
Oh, it's like 3 weeks. It's been going on for 3 weeks.
So he was bullying you for 3 weeks.
Well, the first 3 weeks, he answered through her Instagram. So the second time, I didn't really think about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just 3 weeks later, it's when it started getting really like, don't call my girl. People have been telling me what's going on 3 weeks prior before that. And my Facebook got deleted, all 5 of them. And like my
Okay.
social media got deleted before, 3 weeks before this all happened.
oh wow.
But like, let me just understand a little bit. Like, the 3 weeks you're sending her like songs all the time, or was just a one-time type of thing?
It's just that week.
Uh-huh.
And then when I went back to look if I got Facebook, that first week I didn't have Facebook. My second week I didn't have Facebook. My third week.
His question
now,
is, how many times did you promote your music in her Instagram or send it to her?
no, that was leading to that third week. That
Right.
was the first time that week.
Got it.
And
Okay.
then he left Facebook, the one social media, to follow me on another social media,
Got it.
Instagram. So now we're not on Facebook no more because it's deleted. I don't have it no more.
Right.
So now he's on Instagram telling me, don't talk to his girl. I'm coming to shoot you.
And
Gotcha.
and do you think that they hacked your Facebook and stuff?
Yeah, it definitely deleted my Facebook, hacked my Facebook. I have 5 of them.
Wow.
Deleted all DJs, everybody that know me on Facebook. People started leaving my Facebook
Yeah.
to go to Instagram just to call me like, hey,
Right.
you don't have Facebook anymore. What happened? In 3 weeks. So I had a Facebook since 2008, college, because the only way you can have Facebook if you're in college.
Yeah. So, question for you: did you ever date her? Did you guys ever have a relationship?
Nah, I never dated her. Like even after when I came from college,
Right. So
even
I wonder
before
why
I
he
go
was
in college.
jealous. I mean,
Coming out of prison,
right.
he probably just was his only girl,
I see.
and I can't blame him for doing what he do, because any man would do anything
Yeah, of course.
for any woman. Never forget that. But it's this, at that time I was just de-escalating the situation and not being masculine, demasculating myself and telling him, hey, that's not my girl. So don't get it mixed up as me thinking that's my girl or anybody else's girl or anybody else's fiance, because I'm like, I already know the first baby daddy and the second baby daddy. So I was just like, please, whatever. But, situations happen. He came with the gun. I grabbed his wrist.
Before we get there, so everyone knows you in the neighborhood as, and you're born, raised Wynwood. Everybody knows Seth Magoo, Shadrach.
Yeah.
Wynwood. Man, you're a very calm, cool guy to hang out with. You're not violent. You don't look for trouble. Now, you're not the person to mess with.
I am not perfect. Yo,
so listen. I'm from the hood and I
Yeah.
can fight.
more fire.
I wouldn't want to fight you. Let's just say
no,
that.
No. I know you could fight, because just the way you play ball is tough. It's like they say, it's more fire in the neighborhood than you can even imagine, man. Every morning there's something different. I remember I used to go to school days and people would be talking to me like, hey, you want to buy some perico? I'm like, bro, I'm only like 10 years old. And how you telling me this? I'm like, I was like, I'll go home, I'll be like, Mom, this is a Puerto Rican neighborhood. They're telling me in Spanish if I want to smoke rocks.
Right.
She's like, how you understand? I'm like, I know what perico is. I know what coca.
I know what chaparrito is, so perico is
I know if I look at my mom, but I know what food is. And that ain't food.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So
So now let me take you back. So now he's bullying you through Facebook. You no longer have Facebook. He's bullying you through Instagram. He's sending you pictures of guns. He's sending you pictures of bullets. So then what happened? Now, take your time, because I know that there were cameras that got this, and I got to see the live video. So what happened? He pulls up with her. She was driving, right?
yeah. You know what the thing is? I think they sat at my house for 30 minutes.
Yes, the video proves it.
Yeah,
Yes.
the video proves them sitting there for 30. Guys, imagine somebody sitting there for 30 minutes premeditating your murder.
Right, yeah, contemplating.
Contemplating how are they going to kill you in front of your house.
Yeah.
Well,
you were actually in your cousin's house, right? And you were
this is my little Haitian cousin that I knew since we was like probably 5 years old in the Pugetto. Remember the Pugetto? The flea market and the tea market.
Yeah.
And every Saturday I would be there at, because I would help him like put the water off the tent Saturday, Sunday. They sell the little raggedy, stuff. But those little raggedy things meant a lot to us, because we was like we're little kids.
That's how you make money.
flea
Bro.
market.
That's how you make money.
Yeah. Because I'm like, the rest of the week we need, stuff.
Yeah.
So I was living with him on his couch.
Gotcha. So now he's parked there, but he was also with his girlfriend.
With his girlfriend for 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
And my childhood friend just left to the bank to pay the rent.
Wow.
To like literally.
So you finished taking a shower, right?
Yeah, I took a nice shower, and I sat there and I thought to myself for a second, if I'm gonna die today, and I'm gonna go to this parallel universe of heaven, because I'm thinking it's time to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go clean. I just had to go clean. I mean, I had to make sure that the manliness of me had to be clean. I mean, foot, arm, ears, everything, just the cleansing part. And I sat there and I waited for him. I just sat there.
So you knew he was coming.
I knew he was coming.
That is crazy.
That's like, like Jesus says, the thief in the night is coming. I was waiting for this thief in the night. I swear.
Did he catch you by surprise?
Not by surprise.
Okay, so you saw him coming.
I seen the ambush coming, and I'm like, okay, the ambush is here.
Did you see the gun in his hand?
I seen the gun in his hand.
He had it on his right?
In his right hand. I took one step.
Wait, before we go there, did he have his finger on the trigger?
He had his finger on the trigger.
Wow.
I took the first step, got close, and I let him know, hey, I'm not talking to your girl. That distracted him for a second.
Got it.
That's not the second step. I got close enough to be in his face. At that moment, I reached for the gun. I had to reach.
So let's stop right there. So you reach for the gun. Now, I know what it is to be in a situation like that, and it feels like a dream. You feel like super nervous, and you feel like actually you're gonna die. It's like everything is slow motion. What did you feel at that moment when you grabbed his wrist? Because if you would have missed his wrist,
I would have been dead.
you would have been dead. And we know this.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? At that
Yes.
moment, it's like a basketball shot. And you like
Yes.
we're talking about the chemistry
Yeah.
between Kevin Love
Yes.
and Bam Adebayo has to make that shot.
Yeah.
My one shot was to hold his wrist.
Yes.
He shot twice. Boom.
Wow.
With his own trigger finger. I knew
Right.
that shot was for me, those two shots.
Yes.
He let go of the gun at that moment. And at that moment, I say,
Well, he let go of the gun because you squeezed. Remember, you got a strong grip.
I squeezed on him like my life depended on it. Yes. I squeezed on it so hard to like I knew like handcuffs couldn't be even tighter than this. Like I had a grip on him. Like if I'm gonna die, my cold-blooded hands are gonna be on your wrist.
Wow.
He shot twice.
Yes.
And that's not to be a scientist, nobody, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but that's called an Ingraham method.
Yeah.
And the only reason I knew about this Ingraham method is all those times I was locked up as a child and they giving me 48 Laws of Power and Art of War and Behold a Pearl White Horse and enough books to be like, you know what? I don't read books like that. Give me a book about being a doctor. I read my first book about John Bensonhurst.
We're going to
doctor.
get into that into detail in a little bit because I know you were locked up when you were 11 years old. You've been through so much, but I want to stay in this segment. I don't want to talk about this. I want to get into detail. So he drops the gun.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Well, he dropped the gun. That's what shocked me about it. Because at that point, I am grabbing his wrist, and once he shot the two shots, it went into the dirt.
Okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, I had to hold on to him.
Yeah.
And like gotta spin around, dance with him. But when he let it go, I said, at that moment, I have the power.
Yes.
The power is in my hand. I said, God willing, you're not gonna come back to earth and you're not gonna chase me. And I know this is not, me. If it's my fault, then it'd have been your righteousness. But I was like, at that moment when he let go of the gun, I was like, this is my righteousness right now.
Defense mode. You were in defense mode.
At this point, it got
because when the bullets went off, you didn't know it hit the ground.
or it hit me.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're numb. And when you first get shot, guys, you don't feel it. If it's numbness, by the way.
Yeah.
So at the moment you're in a dream stage, you have tunnel vision. Even though it's shooting down, you don't know where the bullets are going. So in his mind,
you know this.
Of course, I know
you
this.
Yes.
Of course.
This thing is like a standstill
Yes.
matrix type of thing.
Yes.
And you don't think that you're dead or alive
Yes.
yet until you actually feel the pain. That's why I told you I took a
Yes.
shower and I got ready for pain.
Yes.
Because this is excruciating pain I'm about to go through. I am about to get shot. Can you sit there and tell yourself I am about to get shot and don't get shot?
Yeah.
Now, when you were waiting for him, were you nervous? Were you fearful? Like, what was the expectation in those
I am
moments?
going to get shot.
He just knew it. He was
I'm going to
preparing
get shot.
himself
I'm preparing
to get shot. Yeah.
to get shot.
Yeah.
This is not riding a bike and hitting the car. Boom, I got hit by a car.
Yeah.
No, I'm preparing myself to get shot and die.
But what was the preparation though?
Dying.
Yeah.
So
Dying.
you're ready to die.
I'm ready to die.
So the mindset in the hood was today's a good day
Day
to die.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's the saying. That's the mindset.
So survival mode didn't kick in. Of
it
like
kicked
self-defense.
in when I grabbed the
Right,
arm,
of
the
self-defense.
Ingraham method.
Yes.
I tell you, that's
Got
the
it.
survival mode that popped in, and now I'm already thinking, well, it's a good day to die today.
Yeah.
But then
Well,
that's
if it was your day, it was your day, because like that's it. You
That's
know, he's
it.
here.
Right.
Yo,
I mean,
if it's my
I'm
day, it's
sitting
my
here,
day.
it's my day.
And instead of running or whatever, come
Bam.
get me.
Come get
Come
me.
get me.
And you know what?
Yes.
When
That's
I got close enough to talk to him, I realized he wants to talk. I was like, no way,
'cause he had
bro,
every
you want
right.
to talk?
He had every right to pull out. And
Just
just
give you
go.
every right to pull out. Bang, bang.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
dead.
because-
Yeah.
Because when you said, "Yo, I'm not with your girl," and he goes like, "Yo,
Yeah.
what's the deal?" That
second-
little second, that's your
Let me
chance.
know that
Yes.
he wanted to
Yeah.
talk
Yes.
and not
Yes.
kill me.
Right.
So I was like, whoa, God, you gave me a hand, an ace of spades or something in a royal flush.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, at this point, I'm thinking, nah, he's going to beat me with the gun. He has
Yeah.
to like, boom, beat me with a gun until you be like, yo, this is my girl, never talk to again. But I was not taking that chance.
Yeah.
I said, grab his hand now.
Yeah.
He could be robbing you for every piece of jewelry you had if you was this big time rapper kid that made it, or
Yeah.
a big time author or a big time pastor. And
So he dropped the gun.
Grabbed
What
it.
happened next? You guys
I
were dancing.
grabbed it.
Yeah.
We was dancing in a circle. When he grabbed it in the two shots,
I saw. Did you pick him up and slam him?
No.
No. Okay. So
No.
okay. So what happened? You danced
I'm
around.
spinning in a circle with him like
Right.
like a Disney song.
Still
Yeah.
grip the
Still
whole-
grab, it's,
Still
it's like a
Disney song.
Disney song,
Still
and I'm
on.
still grabbing onto his wrist. And all I'm
on.
thinking is, I have a chance. I was really thinking, I have a chance to live.
Wow.
And at that moment, I knew he didn't have a chance to live. He didn't have not a chance after that. And I forgive me, because while he was dying, I told the girl to call his mother.
Well, we're gonna get there. So now you're dancing around. At what point did you pick up his gun?
After the two shots, we was coming around. So now he lets go of the gun like he's scared of the gun.
Well, you almost broke his wrist.
I gotta go, of course. I'm trying to, but it's like this: the bullets, like pow, pow.
The shock of it, yeah.
He might have thought he got shot.
Right. Correct.
It might have been a miscommunication signal to him.
Yeah.
And he checked himself.
So how did? Because I watched him fall down in the video. How did you grab the gun? How did you have time to grab his gun that was on the floor?
You ever seen the movies where it slides on the ground, like it slides across the ground, and you like both of you had to jump for it?
Yes.
That's the moment. I got there before he got there.
Wow.
Okay.
That's how I survived that one. I got there before he got there, and once I felt the grip of what type of gun he had, this gun had a good grip on it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a little gun like this, but it had a good grip.
Right.
At that moment, I knew that God transferred the power. And if he was the righteous one, then, I'd have been on the other side of the gun and I'd have been dead. I think at that moment, not to be religious or nothing like that, but the parallel universe of me going to heaven, getting ready to die in the hood one day,
Right.
that today,
Yeah.
I guess,
So you picked it up. Was he still on the floor? Was he standing at the moment?
no, as soon as I got the gun,
Yeah.
I did a whole rotation and I put my forearm under. And not to be a conspiracist theory, not deep in, in your business or nothing like that. But I studied the Kennedy shooting with JBL and the rotation that, it would take from the front seat to shoot somebody backwards. So I was rotating a full 180 spin again
Yeah.
to grab his arm from him punching on me with the gun under between my arm and elbow. So now he's punching up, and I have the angle of shooting him in the hip. So I shot him in the hip once. Boom.
Okay, so you did shoot him in the hip.
That's
okay.
that's the first shot.
Got it.
So that first shot was the cease shot, because you can't shoot overkill somebody. So it has to be the cease. It's cease or decease.
So what happened? He got hit at the hip.
Hip,
What
didn't-
happened? Did he
He
fall?
didn't cease. He kept throwing punches at me.
Wow.
And
you see, because he didn't feel the pain.
Yeah, you don't
It's
feel
numb.
it. You keep going on until
Yes.
the bleeding or the pain.
Yes.
Pain. And me as a kid, playing with cap guns, we'd be like, all right, Pop, you got me.
You got me. Yeah.
Yeah, stop. He didn't even say that.
Wow.
You know the kid mentality when you run around with cap guns.
Yeah.
And you pop, oh, you got me. Or if you get shot with a paintball gun and you're like, oh, you got me.
He didn't feel it. He just kept going. 'cause he had
So
no clue.
if he would have backed
Stop.
away, it would have been
over
stopped.
with.
You see what I mean?
Wow. It'd have been like,
Yeah.
I shot you and I'd be like, all right, cool. Call the paramedics, you know what I'm saying? Call your
Done.
mom. I'm going
Yeah.
to keep the gun.
Right.
It's
right,
mine now.
Right. Right.
You'd have to go buy another one. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're going to do, whatever. I see you in the hood tomorrow. I have some ice cubes and
Yeah.
Kool-Aid tomorrow and I'll be at the same.
Right.
You know,
Same corner,
find my-
same place, eating in the same place.
Same
Yep.
restaurant. Oh,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Carne asada. Yeah, I want
Yeah.
some of that too. Because we go to the same festivals. I see every time. When your grandma was dying, I was at your house.
Right.
So it's like, I know you since you was a child, you grew up. Why would you choose that day to disrespect me?
Yeah.
And, even though I'm de-escalating the situation and, as we said earlier, demasculating is
Yeah.
a great way to say it. As a man, if you de-escalate yourself in those type of situations and de-escalate the situation, I think it gives you an opportunity, a slight chance to save you, your daughter, your family, anybody, your dog, your cat. That demasculating
Right.
situation right there.
Let's go back. So he dropped it. You picked it up. You
Grabbed
hit
it.
him, and then he was punching you. You shot. You hit him in the
hip.
In the hip.
Now
what happened
he's falling towards me and
Okay.
he's like punching. Now, this is not something for anybody that, you ate dinner tonight, you don't want to hear this part.
Yeah.
Because he's punching at me and I have a clear shot towards his encrio, his heart.
Yeah.
That, in that moment, I knew that it's this over for him.
Got it.
Because I'm gonna shoot you in your heart. It's no way I'm gonna miss because the heart is
And
right
you,
there.
you have a fraction of a second to think. Yeah.
You're gonna die. You're
Yeah.
really gonna die at
Yeah.
this point because it's not. I'm not going for a headshot.
Right, right.
I'm stopping
Yes.
your increase. I'm gonna stop your heart,
Right.
and that's deceased.
Yeah.
Because a bullet in there.
Yeah.
I'm
It's a
sorry.
big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. You gotta have to get a pacemaker.
Yeah.
And you had to get a
So
pacemaker.
what happened then?
I shot him in the heart,
Okay.
and I knew at that moment that he just took 2 steps, and he just laid on the floor. I was like, okay, now he's dying.
And while all of that is happening, like the girl was
It's
around.
turning.
in the car.
She's in the car. Now she's. It's 4 shots now. The first 2 that went in the ground, and the 2 shots I shot.
And how long
Yeah.
how long do you think that all of that took? Like 15 seconds?
Yes. It's on a
And
video.
the,
like
the video,
second.
the video is
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Right. Right.
But the
Walking.
action part, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like probably 15 seconds.
Yes. Fast.
Wow.
It's a spin around,
Yes.
boom,
Yeah.
pop
yeah.
out. Then I grab the gun and then pop out back.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wow, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like cowboy scene,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
black and white.
Right.
And-
So now
and-
she
and
makes a
those-
U-turn, comes back. What happens then?
It's like a cowboy scene. Like the wagon comes around.
yeah.
And she jumped out the car and she's like, where'd you shot him at? And I was like, I shot him in the hip and I shot him in the heart. But then I realized
He was still alive at that moment, right?
he was dying.
Okay.
The girl and the little friend I have living in the house that just went to go pay the rent at the bank.
Yeah.
Little brother was with his girlfriend in the next room. So he came out and they started recording too.
Oh wow.
Him dying on the floor.
That's crazy, bro.
And then the girl is jumping out, and mind you, she's asking me, "Where did you shoot him?" I told her in the heart, in the hip.
Yeah.
You know what registered to my brain?
Yeah.
The self-defense act, where she's the co-defendant.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the defendant on the floor now. I went to reach for the gun again. No lie, guys.
Oh wow.
That the worst thing about it.
Yeah.
I would have shot her if the friend never screamed, "Hey, Cedric!" He meant that slight second.
Yes.
Remember I told you about that one?
Yep.
She screamed, "Hey!" And I realized, you know what? I'm not gonna shoot you. I put the gun back down.
Yeah, because you go from
sorry.
now we're getting in too deep. You good?
Too deep.
Want to pick it up?
Yeah, that scared me for a second. No, because at that moment,
Talking about shooting. Boom, boom.
boom. Yeah,
Sorry, man.
Sorry, because she said, "Hey, that would have been the second. That would have been that'd have been 6 shots."
Right.
So
right.
I'm thinking like, do I have to kill another person at this moment?
Yeah, because you go from sanity to insanity, you know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Because the
yeah.
only thing I would have had at that moment was a mitigation package in jail.
Yeah.
To be like,
My
I'm
goodness.
insane. I'm sorry. And the judge would have been like, what, you shot one person and shot the girlfriend too?
Yeah.
What would have been the explanation for that?
That would've been
Right,
really bad
right.
for you.
A double murder, right? No. I think that one was enough with a boyfriend,
Yeah.
you know.
And I know that's hard. It's hard for the family. And again, I was in your world. I lived
Yeah,
it.
you know.
And I know it's hard for the family, but when you really look at it, you had about 15 seconds to say it's either my life or his life. And
Well,
as a human being,
those 15 seconds change your whole life.
your whole life. But at that moment, your body takes over and it's like, I gotta live. It's like falling off of a cliff or, you know, whatever. I gotta live.
That
You go on-
8 second that you're gonna
Yes,
fall
yeah.
into that pothole, and you're like, "Oh, thank you." That 8 second where that bus is passing, and it was like, "Hey," and you come back. You know that it's that moment where it's ironic.
Yeah.
Ironic that it's either my life or his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, you're in my world, Serge. And
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
the grieving part was the hardest thing to
Yeah.
deal with.
Yes.
His family grieving.
Yes.
What was the hardest for me to deal with?
Yeah.
And then my friends and family and my social media telling me to let them grieve.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting social media texts every day like let them grieve.
Yeah.
And that grieving part
Yeah.
is really serious.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's hard.
It
man.
is.
It's hard.
Yeah, we can talk about that in another podcast because you need a whole podcast to explain what goes on in the mind after taking someone's life, even though it was in self-defense. Like for me, I would say I took someone's life that, you know, he was a father, he had a child, he was married, you know. So all of these things in the middle of the night, you think, and you're like, man, that's horrible. Even though you had that moment, it was either me or him, you still think as a human being and you suffer.
You know what I thought?
Yeah.
I asked my friend, "Am I a murderer?" I sat there all night with him,
Wow.
and he, you know, he just took shit, I'm about to cry right now, but
Yeah.
it took a minute for me to understand that I'm not a murderer. bro.
Yes, you're not.
And this is where you say the grieving part.
yes.
So I was like, let me understand for my self dignity,
Yes.
my word, you know, my self dignity, that I'm not a murderer, and I'm not gonna sit here and brag like I'm one, or sit there. That grieving part is the real part where I sat and I understand I was not a murderer.
And part of that grieving process, you go back and you say, man, why couldn't I just died?
You know, I
This
you
would
know,
have all ended.
you know, my friend stopped me that same night, and he was like, "Why you didn't throw the gun away? Why you didn't just threw the gun when you took it from him?"
Because then he might go get it, and it's the same thing. Like it doesn't solve anything. though.
You're in protect mode
Yeah.
at that moment,
Yeah.
you know. But now you can go back and say, okay, in those 15 seconds, I could have done all of this, and the mind takes you there.
When you're not in that moment, you can say whatever. Like afterwards, you can
Say-
say, "Oh, what
Uh-huh,
if?
uh-huh.
Yeah,
I
it-
should have, I
yeah,
could have."
yeah.
But at that moment, it's
Yeah.
a one-time thing, and that's
Yeah.
it.
That's
bro.
it. It's not a blooper like another take
Yeah.
to another
Right.
podcast or
Right.
nothing like that. It's
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
It's real.
But
it's
your
real.
mind,
Yeah, it's very
your
real.
mind does take you there, and you do the would have, could have, should have.
Yep.
And I wish I could. I shouldn't have stopped. I shouldn't have done this. I should. If I wouldn't have done this, it right. You know. So you start playing the blame game, and bro, it messes you up.
And it you know,
Yeah.
you know, as that grieving part goes on, where they have the wake, the funeral,
Yeah.
the friendship, the burial, and social media. You know, social media is a big thing because social media could be a bully too. But thank God, social media was not a bully to me.
Good.
And you know that grieving process, social media gave me the acknowledgement of telling me, "Hey, let him grieve." Like you was one of those people that was like, "Hey, let him grieve." You know, a lot of people that was in the neighborhood that wants to know, like at the end, a lot of people told me, "Yo, if it was me, I'd have did the same thing that you did."
Right.
And it's not just from one man to man conversation.
Yeah.
It's multiple man-to-man conversations. It's multiple son-to-father conversations, barbershop conversations, you know, salon conversations, church conversations where people are like, if I was in your predicament,
Yeah.
that was my only choice,
Yeah.
I'd have did the same thing you'd have did.
It's
Well, you
survival
know,
mode.
Yeah,
it's a do or die type
Die.
of thing, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't
Yeah.
think nobody even gets a slim...
What is the deal?
You keep hitting
Sorry,
the
I
sign.
keep hitting this thing. I get scared.
Mike, you want to lift
I'm
it?
sorry, Mikey.
Yeah,
Mike.
you
Mike.
can-
Mike. Hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was just, I hit this thing twice, ladies and gentlemen, man. I'm so sorry. It's not a blooper like we saying, like me hitting this thing and, we can fix it. I think you never can fix getting shot. I don't think you can fix ever dying.
Yeah.
And then if you can never fix somebody telling you, I'm going to kill you today, I'm going to murder you.
Yeah.
What I did when I took the gun away from him, and that what ifs in so many moments that you do, if I coulda, shoulda, woulda, I think he'd have came back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For the second time to defend whatever title he was given by the girl.
Yeah. But so to end this conversation here, man, my condolences goes out to the family.
Yeah, it definitely goes out to the Rodriguez family because
these are friends, from the neighborhood. We know them, and unfortunately, it happened. I believe by now a lot of people understand. Now, people are still grieving and hurting. Absolutely, and it was unfortunate what happened.
Yeah, definitely. I would have wished it was something like a flesh wound where something would have been like streetwise, like don't even worry about it tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We ain't even beefing like that.
Yeah.
But I think this was a turning point in my life where I feel like demasculating a lot. I think social media is a platform to demasculate yourself. I think you don't have to be like all tough and be like, you got a husband, you got your kids, women don't be on there, to like guys who are like very masculine on social media because it's already a tough lane.
It's a tough world.
It's a tough world. Yeah,
and then men are supposed to be tough, but whenever we talk about feelings and stuff like that, women want us to understand them, the way they feel and all that stuff. But when we feel the way they feel, they just want to see that tough guy instead of this wimpy guy that is talking about his feelings. And it's a double-edged sword, man, because they ask us to feel things like they do. But when we do, they don't want to see that guy. They want to see the macho guy. So,
and I think it's like that too, that they want to see no emotion for us and be that tough guy.
Yep.
Yeah, because, even with my girl, I cried in her lap. I know man is supposed to do that, right? You know what I'm saying? But I took a second to just say, man, you know what? Thank God I'm still alive. You know what she did? She kind of like, your man, toughen up.
Yeah.
That's what you did it for.
Man up.
Man up. Hey, and I realized a lot of things at that moment. Like you just said, a woman doesn't want to see you weak. Because if you can't protect your house, you can't protect your home, you can't protect your family.
Yeah, but that's crazy, man, because at the end of the day, you're not a protective dog,
right?
That is like a Doberman, watching 24/7, bro. You're a human being, and you make mistakes, you have feelings, and you have fear, and you have all these things that everybody does, but it's a very
sensitive.
It's
moment.
very hypocritical, man, from society that they pretend us. If you're a macho man, you think you're a macho man, you should feel. Okay, I feel. Hey, I'm down, I'm bad. Oh no, you should be a macho.
Yeah,
like bro, what's the deal?
I think they try to take that whole masculinity from us, but I think it's a point at this age and time where it's sensitive masculinity. Like I can be masculine and be sensitive manly. Like
well, if you analyze Jesus was a man's man. Jesus was a man's man.
Carpenter.
And he you can see him feeling
sensitive.
Everything, bro. He cried, he grieved, he was pissed off. And he made a whip and he whipped people up.
Yeah.
He was like the
flipping over.
He was like the ultimate power in control.
Yeah.
Because he could just snap a finger and
there's
everything could be over, but he knew how to control it.
And there's a whole range of emotions that you can see in him.
Yeah.
So he never sucked it up to be a man. He actually felt, and he was a man when he needed to be because he was in control of his emotions.
Definitely, I agree with you that I guess it's like that manly stage where you don't be insecure. I think when they say Jesus grew at a point and he changed. You remember when they say Jesus was younger and he was a carpenter. It's just, I guess that manly stage he got to was more and more sensitive about things.
The Bible says he grew in favor with God and man, and as he grew in favor, he grew in experience and
knowledge,
being a human being, man. We're all human beings, and he was like one of us. It's hard for us to understand it because we always see him like God, but he was a man like you and me. Yeah. And the fact that he was who he was and he did what he did, we can see the things in him that really represent what a man is.
Yeah, I like what Mike said too. Through all that sensitivity, he had control.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely what you need in situations where you're at your most lowest point or your most highest point. It's the control. To take a knee and gain control. So I think I like the way you said that, Mike. Yeah. That Jesus had control.
I'm curious on like repercussions. Obviously from the situation, any retaliation. Obviously I would imagine in the hood, people spread the rumors. I'm gonna kill him now, and
brothers was like, "Oh, I'm gonna grab an AK when I see you AK." People was giving me drops like, "Hey, they're driving in the Yukon Denali. Don't eat at La Fama." There's people was telling me, "Hey, don't go to this certain places." They had an AK. So people were telling me that the grieving part was hard for the brother of him. So the victim's brother, when I say victim, I'm making it seem like I'm guilty. See, that's the guilty conscience. Yeah. Well, the defendant's brother, might have felt a way, and as a brother, you're gonna feel a certain type of way losing.
And you don't know the story. That's the problem. In the beginning, at least for my case, everybody thought I was a hitman. I was going to college, so in the beginning is all these rumors, and then all of these emotions are built up until time goes by, and then they get the full story. Yeah. So in the beginning, they were like, oh, said just, took his life, and it wasn't like that.
No, you know what? Yeah. People stopped me, and remember I told you social media is a big platform. Yeah. So within the 2 minutes that this whole self-defense thing happened, it was on social media the next 2 days.
Oh wow.
2 days. And those 2 days, I have never seen so much caring people that was calling and letting me know what's happening, and they felt like, hey, you know what? If I was in your shoes or predicament, I would have done the same thing. I mean, like Peter did for Jesus when he cut off the ear and was up against a soldier.
Yeah, you see the car parked. And you see it, and then you see him with the gun
walking towards me.
So that video went like
it's like a soldier walking towards you with a sword. And he's like, "I'm gonna execute you."
And it happened like that.
That's crazy, man.
Crazy. I mean, I could felt like Jesus in this time. If I know what Jesus felt like when he was walking in sandals and he had 12 brothers, that was his disciple brothers, and a swordsman walked up to him, and Peter took that sword. Remember, Peter took that sword and sliced his ear. What? That's what it felt like. Like I was Jesus sitting there, and the only person I probably had was Jesus.
So the first time you got arrested, you were 11 years old.
Yeah, man.
Who goes to jail at 11 years old?
A kid that has nothing in the streets that's trespassing at his own elementary school, playing in the dirt.
Wow.
I think I was playing in the dirt or playing on the playground.
Yeah.
And a neighbor called the police, saying he's playing on the playground on the school grounds. He took me to jail that day.
Wow.
Trespassing.
And where was your mom? Was your mom deported at that time?
No, my mom was working as a dentist.
Okay.
And in a few weeks, my mom was going to get deported.
Got it.
It's close in a few weeks.
Okay.
So she was at the point where she already got arrested and she already violated the probation.
Got it.
So they was going to come and get her.
So when she left, you were just, who took care of you? Your aunt, or who took care of you?
At that point, my grandma was one of those people that came, took care of me, left food on the oven for me. You know how my grandma, I think, is like Cuban Haitian or something like that. She's like little light-skinned lady. So she would leave food on the counter for me. So it's just me and my grandma going through junior high school, living with my grandma. Until eventually she died in 2007. And I had my daughter like 21.
So I met you at 2004.
Yeah, I was 18.
Yeah, where were you? And what was that center you were in?
I was in a homeless juvenile delinquent rescue mission.
Okay.
So my grandma didn't come and pick me up from jail for 4 months. She just let me rot in jail. You know how they be like, I'm not coming to pick you up.
How many times were you arrested already?
Oh man, I think I just did 60 days in jail. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you just got out of jail now,
for
right?
disorderly conduct. And I thought about it. People do 60 days in jail, or people do 60 years in jail.
Right.
So I weighed out the difference, and I was like, "Oh, no more disorderly conduct for me." I was like, "No."
So 11 years old, you got arrested. When did you get arrested again?
Now, just recently, like
no, after 11, because I know you've been in jail.
I've known you just every
years.
summer, bro. Every 2-3 summers.
Yeah.
It's just one of those 2-3 summers where I'm like, I might catch a misdemeanor on some like bum sitting on the corner, and just in the hood, like, oh, no, let's just sit here and under the shade and talk about nothing, I guess, just,
and then police shows up and you get arrested.
And I get arrested. And you won't know it. And one friend might have like $10,000 on him, and he just committed a robbery. And the other guy like 4 pounds of weed on him. And you're like, damn, I forgot to hide my gun. And you're like, and the luckiest one is me. Right? I was like, yo, wow, I don't even have a gun. They Jesus God. Right?
Yeah.
And we all end up at a police station. So yeah.
So when you was in this homeless shelter, right, for kids,
yeah,
I mean, it was heartbreaking for me. That was the hardest ministry I did.
You came in there. You was there.
I know.
Oh yeah.
But it was hard because there was a lot of young girls that you can see that they were abused and stuff.
Yeah, man. I think those girls were like smoking drugs.
Yeah.
I think drugs was like a big thing on it because they would leave the premises, and there's a trailer park where they sell crack, coke, but at 17, I'm already thinking I don't have no mom, no dad. What the hell am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And my mom got deported.
But I want to talk about that place where I was ministering, and that day you wasn't there.
And I was thinking about it.
But check it out. So now I'm walking through the streets, and that's where I meet you for the first time. I'm not sure if I was preaching to you. I don't know why I walked up to you, but it was in front of my house. Do you remember what it was? We ran into each other.
Yeah, I was coming from the store. You was walking, looked like you was going towards the store.
Okay.
But that night, that same year, I remember you coming into the homeless shelter, and the guys was like, "Oh, he's doing a song about Jesus," and in my mind, I'm thinking, "I need Jesus." Right? I'm like, I'm 17 years old and I'm homeless, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, my mom just got deported, and we figured that that night you kind of like gave us courage that night as like abandoned teenagers.
Yeah.
And when I seen you walking that way towards,
did they like my music?
Hell no, they ain't like your music. You talking to a bunch of Spanish kids.
But wait.
It was horrible.
But wait. Like when he
Alvaro's gonna eat it up.
When he got to the place, like what did he do? Because you guys are like, I was just like preaching. No. Like give us the story.
His song was "Thief in the Night." You talking to about 30 Spanish and black and white kids that think that they thieves in the night. They be stealing rims, going out there doing drugs, jumping out their window with their parents there. And me, I don't got no parents, so I'm thinking already like, man, I stay with my grandma. I can come home anytime I want to.
Right.
So it's like, oh wow. So just to have somebody to come with a little inspiration, but you had a lot of courage that day. Not just saying that, and then just saying that a whole bunch of kids that's like immature. We're definitely immature. I'm definitely thinking I'm grown at 17 years old, about to turn 18.
Yeah.
But wait a second. Like I've heard a lot about him rapping. I've never heard about him sucking at rap. So I want to get that story. I want to get that story, bro.
That was when I first started.
Yeah, let's be honest. When he first started,
he sucked.
What? Oh, man.
They don't know. They don't know.
Mike, I think you was there for the second album, Mike, on the third album, right?
One of those. Yeah, one of those.
You wasn't there for D2M music.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. D2M music was like, it's not like this now. This is like futuristic podcast church, right?
Right.
The beginning of the first stage of the church.
The trailer, remember?
The trailer in the back of your house.
Yeah.
It was like, you only thing you're gonna give him is respect that you did it for Jesus.
Right.
Everything else, you have been like, bro, you want to do some Spanish Latino reggaeton? You was like, hey, can you put some adobo in this? Can we get some seasoning?
It was too bland. It was too bland.
Bro, we could tell he was not Cuban.
Right.
We was gonna be like, hey, at least Cuban people got coffee con leche.
Man, this story is gonna make us money, bro.
Yeah.
This is the one time that I've heard in like 14, 15 years that he sucked at rap, bro.
It's
I love this.
horrible.
I love this.
Horrible was his part.
So, but let me explain something they don't know. God called me to rap, and I'm like, are you serious?
God really called him. I swear. He had to recall him.
I was so bad that we had to get a guy to chop it up so I can just be on beat. Second half, 34th Street.
Oh my!
Some call it. It was so hard. Remember? Cut paste.
Okay, wait. His name was Miami Boy.
No, I wasn't Miami Boy.
No, Miami
Boy. Yeah.
Came and did a little bit of the engineering arranging part. Now the guy that you called to arrange it,
Brimstone, Seth Brimstone. Yeah.
You spent a lot of money, yo guys.
A lot of money. Yeah.
When you say when somebody tell you your music suck, this is what happens. You spend a lot of money.
No. But wait. You know he had to spend a lot of money because he sucked.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Right. I couldn't stay on beat.
So
I knew he was going to eat it up.
He couldn't stay on beat. He had to pay somebody to actually make him be on
Put
beat.
on beat.
You know? Like,
That's a fact.
Imagine. All right. So I wrote his wedding song, right?
Yeah. Now that I found you, girl. That was him. He wrote it.
Imagine writing that song to stay on beat. I did it because you know how you sat there and you was like, man, I thought, I believed in him. Like he believed in me when we first met and we seen each other and I kicked him in the knee. I was like, hey, I know you.
I wanted to mention that. So the first time he meets me, he just sees me, he kicks me like on my shin, bro. And I'm like, bro. He goes, I know you. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
do I owe you money?
No.
You know what? Were you an engineer? Were you an engineer that was trying to make me be on beat?
No, the second thing he said to me, do I owe you money? I looked at it, I said, no. You was rapping about Jesus.
Tripping.
You know the thing is, I liked about it, he rapped about Jesus. It's not the point that you was on beat rapping about Jesus.
Right.
Not everybody's on beat rapping about Jesus.
Right.
But it's the point that you tried.
Right.
And then we got to rearrange and paid a lot of money for it to be on beat with Jesus.
And I can finally be on beat 20-something years later.
Now it works now because we spent a lot of time. Mike, you don't understand.
Oh yeah.
This is preparing when he's the type of pastor that will prepare for the beginning hour of the church, and then everybody brings the food and they evangelize. He's spending at least 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. putting these rhymes together to be a rapper about Jesus. I say, Lord, you the only one that asked this man to do this. It had to be Jesus. It had to be God asking him to do this.
It was bad. Whatever you think bad was, I was worse.
Imagine to a group of kids, and then one of the kids, I'm the one only kid that knew you.
Yeah.
Look at that. 20 years later, I'm still that same kid that was like, I know you rap about Jesus. I'm still here 20 years later. Like, I should kick you in the knee now.
So it was so cool because I got to bring him into my home, and he got to call me, dad, and I called him son. So we had a nice relationship, man. He lived with me for a very long time. And then when I met Jen, Jen was like, you have a lot of guys living in your house, So I think Seth was the last one to go, but then he lived in the back for a very long time.
And you gave me a spider and a dog.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You gave me a tarantula.
And an American bulldog.
American bulldog named Scott.
Yeah.
God works in mysterious ways. One, I don't know how the man knew I like spiders. Right. Never even told him that.
Right.
Two, God, I don't know how he even knew I like animals.
Yeah.
Because that's what I went to college for. I was going to be a veterinarian. Yeah. So when I left your house, before I even got to your house, I used to be at my house, with my mom before my mom got deported. I had animals in my house. Like I would catch wild animals. and that would be my only friends. Like my little ant pal, where I would turn the ant little. It's like a little screen that had the ant queen at the bottom, and you turn it to the top just to see where the ants go. That was my only little friends at home, because my brother was like 6'2", and he was like kind of a bully, going through that bully thing. Yeah. And my brother would have a lot of guys at the house, like a football team and a basketball team. So I'm like, man, you know what? I'm only like 5'7". These guys are like 230 pounds, and like, you know, I'm like, they're like 6'6". I'm like, you know what? I'll just go chill with my aunts.
Now, he's in prison now, right? That brother, or that was another brother. How many brothers do you have?
Okay, my mom has 3 kids, but we lean on my sister's dad because there's 19 of them.
So, you personally don't know who your dad is?
I don't know who my dad is. I you know, we personally don't know who he is, but whoever he is, you know, you have a great son. We'll call it the prodigal son. Remember?
And a lot of child support money he owes.
Oh yeah, you owe me a lot of child support money, but we ain't gonna take that now. Wait till I have a $1 trillion account, and I give you some money. Whoever you.
So your mom never said this can possibly be your dad?
Nope. No? Just drop me off that church and be like, hey, you know what? Just sit at the church all day. So that's what we did when we first started living in Wynwood. We were living at a lot of churches with my mom, and I would never forget that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, church to church and immigration office to immigration office, you know? Wow. So a lot of Spanish to English.
Where was your mom from originally?
She's Haitian. So a lot of Spanish translations to English where she knows a little bit English. Yeah. And then I had to kick in like the little Creole, you know, the sapase. And she's like, oh, now I understand. And then she'll try to speak her broken down Spanish. I'm like, you know what? You know Spanish more than me, because that's how I think, you know, my mom survived in this country.
Yeah. Now, so your brother, I met your brother that was in prison.
Yeah, that's
and I was ministering in prison. This is the crazy part.
There's something going on.
So I was ministering in prison, and I met your brother.
Yeah, that's the one that's doing 75 years.
75 years in prison.
He's the one that just went to prison 2004 when I met you.
Oh, wow.
I was staying at his house from 14 to 17. He's the one that put me up from the juvenile homeless place, and I was moving out of his and his girlfriend's house.
Wow. How do you get 75 years?
He shot a police officer for cocaine.
Okay.
So remember, these mornings I'll be walking to school and they'll be like, I got perico. I'll be like, hell no. I just see my brother do 75 years for perico. I don't even want to know that word.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I want you to imagine I'm here ministering in this prison where for the first time there was no guards. And these guys are serving 75 years.
These are lifers.
And lifers. They're lifers. And there's 200 guys walking. Now, they've been hearing me on the radio when I was with Jabez for many years. And I walk into this place where they're allowing me to preach, and these guys are like walking around. I'm like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
And you know, my brother called me. He was like, yo, Serge came in through here. I was like, what? I was like, the pastor Serge? Yeah. I said, why he didn't take me? That's funny, right?
So look, this huge guy, wasn't his brother, huge guy, said, Pastor Streets. He hugged me, he picked me up, and I said, okay, the shank is coming. I really thought I was gonna die, bro. I said, it is over. So anyways, I got to minister there, and his brother just comes out of the woodwork and say, Serge, yo, it was just like, that's 1 in a million, bro.
Yeah, I think I went to the same high school, Robert Lee Lee. You went to Robert Lee Lee?
I went to Robert Lee Lee.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I had to just shout that out to Wynwood, old people in prison. Because it's no Wynwood people out there. It's no more like Lil Havana.
Right.
Hialeah,
right.
You know, it's no more. Remember those gangs back in the day?
Everything is changed into the Miami district, design district, all this stuff.
The preppy,
and it's kind of weird to see how it changed and it flipped into what it is. I
grew up during those ages where it was a lot of Latino gangs in Miami. Like Sweetwater had their little gang, Kendall, Hialeah, La Havana,
the beach,
South Beach Posse. So I grew up doing that.
Yeah. So now wait a second. I want to touch into something. He said that he wouldn't want to fight you. So where did you learn how to fight?
Oh, one of those things. One thing I hate bullying. Yeah. Bullying is one of those things that's off my list. And remember, I told you I lean towards my sister's 19 brothers, and my brother that's in prison. He did a lot of capoeira, a lot of wing pao, boxing. So I would stand up to him. and I'll tell him, but I would do it sneaky, and I'll be like, I would pay him to teach me. So now I'm a kid in kindergarten.
That's what
and
it was.
he's teaching me stuff like this. So my sister works at the Seaboard building. It's a jewelry shop.
Okay.
So I'm learning my little wax on, self-defense, wing power, move your hand that way.
Yeah.
Move your hand that way.
Okay.
I'm paying him my little $1, $2, my little lollipop money.
Yeah.
And he's taking it. Because I know he had a habit. Sorry, God, but that perico habit.
Yeah.
So, I'm giving him $1, $2.
Yeah.
Mind you, I am really swindling him. I'm swindling his secrets to like capoeira and boxing. So when I get like 9 years old, kindergarten, I knew how to fight already. At kindergarten, I was like, hey, I got this little fighting thing I buy it by myself, But by 7 is when I got my first referral in 2nd grade. Like my mom was like, "You're fighting, you're suspended in the 2nd grade." I was like, "No." My friend stabbed him in his neck with a pencil, and I tried to grab him. That didn't work.
Right.
Allah.
So one of the craziest stories that I heard, and I know it was crazy, the self-defense, but you were running from police, and I'm not sure if you was in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Run us through what happened. Why were they chasing you?
Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs.
What drugs were you on?
Don't take anything from a bartender or a promoter and think you're going to work the next morning. Don't take nothing from a promoter or bartender think you're going to work next morning not belligerent. I jumped off the 4th floor.
But what was it? A parking lot?
A parking lot.
So why were you running from the police?
The promoter gave me a beer called a Little Something. This Little Something beer made me jump from something really high.
Wow.
And I had work the next day. I went to jail too.
Wait. But they don't know what happened. You jumped off the 4th floor. What happened to you when you hit the ground?
Oh, I lost my legs. Definitely lost my legs.
So what did you break?
I broke both of my caucus heels. It's like the thumb part, like your heel, the heel part of your foot. Like when the girls like stand on heels and they have not the tippy toe part, the back of the heel part. So I'm like, I try to walk twice and I'm like, I definitely can't walk. So I flagged the police down. Like I stopped. I told the police, hey, come arrest me. I was doing something wrong.
But wait a second, what kind of tripping were you in that you were like running and we wanted to jump, bro?
What drug was that?
No, not just the drug, but what was going on in your head, dude?
You know what's going on in my head?
Yeah.
Police, run, security,
You were paranoid.
Paranoia, definitely. And I'm like, run. And you know the thing that comes to your head, you know that minute you like, hey, bright idea.
Right.
Let's jump off the MacGyver moment where you're like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
On drugs. I was like, no. The Mario part when they go, and you like sink through the water, or like when you playing
Did you feel anything when you hit the ground?
It was not like a game where it says busted. You know how it goes busted?
Yeah.
I was really busted. I'm laying on the ground like,
Like GTA.
Like GTA.
You're like GTA. You're
and the police is coming up like, hey, look, I'm right here. I'm the guy with 4 stars that just jumped off the 4th floor. Come on, get me. I was laying there, hurt, in pain.
I always get those phone calls, right?
Yeah.
So they call me and they go, your son did it again. I go, what? Now? And they said, yep, he jumped off of, he was running from police. That's what they told me. And he ran off of a 4-story parking lot. What was he thinking?
You know who I woke up next to? I woke up next to my brother, right? Looking at me like, yo, you okay? My sister is like, are you stupid? And then my aunt is like, I have the credit card. I can pay for it. It's $72,000. Emergency hospital bill is $72,000. That's why I'm walking right now.
Wow.
Who has $72,000?
Ouch.
Could have bought a house with that, right?
Not really. But
I could
a down payment.
A
Maybe.
down payment on a nice 8-bedroom house in West Palm Beach, right? Because I have $72,000 cash.
You landed on what? A grass on the?
No, concrete. So now
dude.
I'm walking because they spent $72,000 on me emergency
Wow.
surgery. So thank God for that. You know, money. Thank God for God's money, because God money helped me do that, and the doctor that believed in God, because he's the one that. You know what? I was rowdy. I didn't even want to go on an anesthesia. I was telling him I could walk. I could walk. He's like,
That's what they were telling me. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going at it with him. I was telling him I could walk.
What drugs you think you were on?
You know what? When I drunk the beer,
Uh-huh.
I was walking away and I got to the parking lot and I sat there. I was like, yo, I gotta go to work. You know, the first thing that came to my mind is I'm belligerent. I gotta get to work. But you know, before I got to work, I was like, I'm gonna smoke this weed. I said, I'm gonna smoke this weed, and this beer is so nice. I don't, you know what I tell you about weed? Sometimes weed has LSD in it.
Yeah.
PCP.
Yeah.
Like training day. Like spend times I would find PCP in my weed. So this weed probably was laced. And that probably will made me get the bright idea, crackhead ass.
But it's funny because you were saying, you know, like if it was voices in your head, like, oh, you know, run and the police and do this and jump and so it's voices, bro.
I asked myself when I was in the hospital, was that a great idea? That was a crackhead idea. That was, that great crackhead idea.
Yeah.
That was a moment where I knew that drugs are not for me. I had the worst idea and I took action to it and broke both of my legs.
Wow. So you're a rapper. God. You're a rapper now. You got 50 something songs.
Yep.
What's your rap name?
My rap name is CED Mogul. So it's said, because everybody calls me Cedric instead of Chirac. But my real name is Chirac Chaparro. But in English, like you have to break it down, it's Cedric.
Okay.
So we cut it short, you know, everybody got a hood name, you know, Peanut, Twinkles.
Yeah.
Twinkles.
Twinkle toes. Where's Little Star at?
Little Star. I don't know. Little Star is dancing on the toilet. If he ever goes to jail, we know where Little Star is at. Unfortunately, I got the great name of Said.
Okay.
Like I said this, I said that. It gave collateral to my name. You know, you seen Said today.
Yeah. Magoo, what is that?
Mogul came from
Magoo.
No,
Magoo.
What is that, bro?
Mr. Magoo. You don't remember Mr. Magoo?
No, a lot of people don't know what a musician mogul is or the expectations of a mogul. It's expectations. A mogul has expectations, financial expectations, music expectations, acting expectations.
Yeah.
Those expectations have to pass the seniors in this mogul industry. Like, say if TD Jakes is a Christian mogul up there.
Yeah.
I have expectations that one day I will pass him as said mogul.
Gotcha.
That's the expectation.
But you never made it as a moco.
No, it's not a moco. I made it as
the reason why I did that joke was I remember I told you, I don't know, it's probably 15 years ago. I said,
if I never make it in rapping,
I said 10 years. I'm gonna give you 10 years, and I knew this was gonna be my moment, man.
See, this is where deep in your business kind of got deep.
So look, I told him, said, I believe that you're called to do music for the Lord. And then, hold on, bro, let me finish. I said, I'm going to give you 10 years, and I'm telling you, in 10 years, you will not be successful. Your music is not, you're not going to go viral. You're not going to be rich. And if it doesn't happen, you're going to do it for the Lord. He said, Serge, I'm going to do it. It's been 15 years now.
It's possible now that it's been 15 years. So what if I do like reggae contemporary? It's still like jamming. You know, jamming in the name of the Lord. It's like, but I'm thinking it's over with, done. Yeah, you're right, Serge. You know, and I think after 15 years of doing music, that it's really one of those things where we're going back to the demasculating part where I'm thinking like contemporary music might be the way. And I'm thinking nobody does reggae contemporary music. Yeah. You know, the only person we ever heard was Bob Marley, and we'll get a little part of jamming in the name of the Lord. There you go. Yeah, that little part will shock everybody. Yeah. So I'm thinking,
what was your favorite song that you did? The secular song that you did that you liked, that you think people enjoyed?
I haven't did it yet.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, all I see is angels.
Well, that's the Christian song, but I'm saying secular. Like, what did you do secular?
Well, this one is, a lot of atheist people might believe in this song because it gives a belief and a behavior of me. and it gives a time for where I took a knee and gained control. So this song called Burning Man, it reminds me a lot about Jesus and what he went through and control he needed. Because, you know, a lot of people might have been around Jesus on drugs, drinking, you know, a lot of prostitution that would have been going on with him. So I think that secular song.
You know, it's funny that it's a secular song and now you're including Jesus, but it was never for Jesus.
No, it was never.
So I want you to be transparent,
I
bro.
am going to be this thing's going to be very transparent. The song goes, a little bit of Burning Man. It talks about an addiction.
Okay.
And it talks about my friend mom dying and bullying, because it says a little bit of Burning Man, a lot of Neon Church. If you don't know what Neon Church is, it's when you have an alcohol addiction. They call it Neon Church. That's the addiction. When you have the shakes in the morning where you don't drink and now you need a beer or something like that.
You need the fix.
The
in order
fix.
To,
So the neon
for your nervous
neon,
system.
Neon Church.
Church. Okay.
So it's the liquor store.
So okay, I got you. So how does the hook go?
So it goes, the Burning Man, you know, it says a little bit of Burning Man.
No, we want to hear you rap. Bro.
All right, it says,
Go ahead.
it goes, a little bit of Burning Man. I'm singing. A lot of Neon Church, a little roll. That's how I make my way home. A little bit of both. A lot what I call life, and it always works when I love me first. So I'm trying to find myself
I got you.
through the addiction.
And how does a little bit of the verse goes?
Half a bottle of some Remy in a broke down truck. I was thinking about my baby now, baby, I'm stuck. I'm a big boy, but big boys need to grow up. Live fast, slow down before another avalanche truck need to pick you up. Cause I've been getting so stoned. Cause I've been all alone. I've been letting my past pull me back to a neighborhood where I grew up. A lot of bad luck. Cans of old beers. I've been driving down this road for years. A little old road that I call home.
Got you. Okay.
So it's learning how to love yourself first through the addiction.
Got you.
And I was going through an addiction. No, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I have hit that bottle really nice. It went to jail about that bottle.
Right.
Yeah. So you know the drugs part, it's, you know, something you can shake off, but that bottle drinking thing, man. I see why them people be in AA meetings. That drinking part is something serious.
And when I met you, you were this clean kid. No drugs, no alcohol.
And I could do it.
Sound mind.
You know, and I think when I got to I don't want you to see this Oreo white shirt under this, but I think it's when I got to my late 30s. Or my late 20s, my early 30s. Because now I'm in my late 30s now. And I'm thinking like, man, if I get to my 40s and I'm drinking like that, I'm not going to have a kidney. I am not going to have a voice. I'm not going to have any lungs. And I'm going to have one of those little things, you know, in your voice that be like, hey, you know. I thought about it. You know, when I was 18, I'm like, man, I'm going to be homeless until I go to college and graduate high school.
So what do you think you're missing? You're missing the fellowship. Remember that fellowship we had, bro?
Yeah, but
it was a lot of us.
I was thinking at that age, I think I needed a wife.
Yeah.
I could, shout out to my guy from Mud City. But if we ever come here, remember, what's his name?
Salvador.
He was here. He was here. One episode, though.
Yeah, Salvador is one of my guys. And I'm thinking, Salvador always talk about getting married at that young age.
Yep.
When he would have his collection of like WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's so Salvador.
That is so Salvador, right? And I'll be like, I'll be looking out from church. I'm like, I wish I was like that kid. You know, I would have a WrestleMania collection. I said, I don't, man. I'm 17 years old with nowhere to go. My mom deported, and I don't even know who the hell is my daddy. So I'm like, you know what? I think at this time is to get my head on my shoulders.
How do you think you will get your head on your shoulders?
A wife, kids. You know, the whole hood talks about that. You know, that revolves around the whole hood. Even if you're not like spiritual or thinking about going to heaven or accepting Jesus, but everybody accepts a kid, a wife, and a family.
Right.
That's like basic things in the hood.
Ted, let me ask you a deep question. Whenever you've been in trouble, and you know that you're like lost,
I never had like a wife to call or like a.
My question is this: when you've been in trouble and you know that you're lost,
Yeah.
and you try to call him up, what goes through your mind though?
Oh, my last result, man. Jesus, man.
Do you feel judged? Do you feel
my last result is righteousness. That's I think that's every man's last result. No matter if your mama knows or your daddy knows or your aunt, your last result when your family kicks you out is righteousness. Through that whole walk, no matter it's fame or being that prodigal son, your last result, no matter if it's Jesus or not, if you believe or not, is righteousness.
But if you see if it would be your first and not your last,
it'd have been still righteousness, right?
No. So you seek the kingdom of God. In other words, if you would seek him first,
and all his righteousness,
it'll be added on to you. You see what I mean? So
I was trying to take that that piece of righteousness first. Yeah. Get my little peaches and cream first, God. Sorry. But I guess it came after that. I'm learning now that it takes a while. I mean, I was hard-headed. I was a backslider, and I'm still there. I'm not going to say, give me a sled right now. I'll ski down Christmas. Thinking like, hey, God, I got this.
So let me ask you, because that's a scary thing. The Bible says that it's a scary thing to fall in the hands of a living God. And I don't know the mindset. So what is the mindset of a person that is like you right now, backsliding, not in the things of God? Do you ever wonder, man, God,
more fire.
Yeah.
More fire.
Yeah.
In hell, more fire.
So fear,
fear, hell is more fire. Like when I was saying, I was thinking I'm about to die, God.
Yeah.
And I was like, at that point, I'm like, hey, if you know I'm going to see you, I felt like I was righteous.
Yeah.
And if me and him know that we're righteous in my belief in him, it makes me stand at a point to somebody believing that I'm righteous, and my behavior is to stand up for righteousness.
Right.
Then I was willing to die for righteousness, whether it was on my turf or somebody else's turf out of Walgreens for somebody else. I think that anybody would have did that.
Right. Righteousness come with an action. There's an action. There's a lifestyle. And right now you said you're backsliding.
Yeah, but I'm scared of hell. No lie, I am scared of hell, and I know that's real. So that you say be very transparent. Yeah. I know hell is probably a very deep and not transparent place. You're not gonna see the sun. I just know it's a dark, 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 dark place. And man to man, I know there's only 4 of us, but dealing with carnal existence, I know you'll be slayed like an animal. And I know that every animal that's sacrificed for us to eat every morning, probably that's what hell feels like going to. A sacrifice. And I don't want to be that sacrifice. You get what I'm trying to say? I don't know if I can explain this in a parallel universe to you where you don't have to be religious. I mean, you don't have to be a conspiracist. You don't have to have TikTok or Facebook or social media. I think hell is very real. And like an animal that gets slayed, I think that's the way your conscience would go. And I didn't want to go that way. Well, I think consciously.
If you had a second chance, man, when the whole incident happened, and you knew you were going to lose your life, and you got a second chance, and you recognize that it was a split second, God gave you a second chance. What do you think that second chance was for, bro?
Shout out deep in your business, but to be deep in my business consciously, I thought the second chance. You know how everybody always asks for that second chance?
Yeah.
They don't get that. Even when you go to jail, you see the judge and you beg the judge, hey, judge, can you give me a second chance? I know that there's no second chance. Life or death. Prison or jail.
But you got that second chance, bro.
And I'm taking advantage of it. Okay. I am really taking advantage of it. I mean, changing girls, knowing that, if I'm going to date a girl, I'm going to date a girl to marry a girl. And all those times, like we go back to the beginning where I say I never had a girl to call if I go to jail or prison. Like I know that my last result will be, believing in God and believing in righteousness and sticking to that righteousness. Yeah. Just to sticking to that, integrity. If somebody close their eyes, you won't steal or you won't, violate those, those commandments you have or that belief you have or that religion you have. Parallel to that, I would think that, righteousness would be that. And I'm seeking what you said on two.
Yeah.
afterwards. So now it's this cardinal existence I'm dealing with, like my flesh.
Yeah, because like the reason why I was saying that, man, was, if God gave you a second chance, it's really not for you to keep doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like you have to make a change, but it's not about making it right now because I'm saying this or anything.
No,
bro.
I'm just changing. I mean,
I'm just no. Listen to me. I'm not saying because I don't know you. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what your lifestyle is. I just heard your story and stuff. But what I mean is the fact that God gave you a second chance in life is for you to actually look at what your life is or what your life has been that you made up, and then to see what He can do in your life if you actually turn to Him again, bro.
Yeah.
I'm thinking God has put a little intimacy in my life. I think, no man should be by himself. And I think that's what I was missing a lot. Like not having a mom and dad. And I think God put a little intimacy in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And like saying with the righteous part, I think I have to be righteous to like the girl I'm dating. Because a lot of times I don't.
What is when you say righteous?
Like this whole incident.
The Bible says righteous is right standing.
Yeah.
Right standing before God. And what makes us right standing is the blood of Jesus. And what he's saying is you had an opportunity in life to fail.
Yeah.
But now you have an opportunity in life to serve God and say, you know what? This is my past. This is my new life. In other words, Alvaro is saying, why haven't you had a born again experience? Remember Winwood? You were like, all
I was just going to say, this
in.
all happened because of me talking to a girl. Now, if I would have had a girl of my own, this would never happen, right, guys?
But check this out. Okay. What if you had a girl that still happened?
I didn't have a girl, and there's no what ifs and it's about it. I didn't have a woman at that point.
Now check this out. Imagine you have a girl, all right, and then your life doesn't change the way you expected. What do you think is the change that needs to happen in your life for you to be fulfilled?
I think at this point is intimacy and insecurities are now like bumping at each other. So now like my insecurities as a man and my intimacy as in I don't need to be on social media promoting my music everywhere. And that would stop the conflict between somebody else and their relationship with somebody else. And me at a point where now I don't want nobody else to grieve over my music or me promoting it, and it's kind of hard. And I remember I got to the point where I asked myself a lot of times, am I a murderer? And I had to sit there and ask my friend.
because those are the questions that define your life. So let me ask you a deep question, bro.
Yeah.
What is your perception of God?
What you believe in, plus your beliefs and your behavior. Like, behavior wise, hey, I did 60 days in jail because I couldn't behave. Mm-hmm. Now, I know, it's a preference to behavior wise, and there's a preference to beliefs, and you got to keep that high expectation. So I don't never want to get off this high horse again, and I think I'm at a direction where I am growing up, and if I kept to one female like I'm doing now, and it's been stages in my life where I was like, celibate, and I was practicing celibacy, and I was trying to figure it out, and I was looking for like a role model. But now I think that my insecurities and intimacy are locked in at each other now, and I don't have to be on social media looking for a girl now. You know what I'm saying? And that just avoids the bullying. That just avoids the the disrespect or the manhood of somebody else had to be like.
So said to end the conversation so you can be clear, the definition to insanity, you know what it is to do the same thing
repetitively,
but then expecting
a change.
Yeah. So your life, you've been trying to change. Well, maybe if I get a girl, or maybe if I do a hit song and I make money, or maybe if I and when you're in that me, myself, and I mean, you're going to constantly fail. That's the insanity. But when you trust in Jesus Christ, now it's God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, you're trusting in him. That's where the change is going to take. So if you want change in your life, you have to die to the said Magoo, Mr. Magoo, that guy.
It said Mogul. Oh my God.
So you got to die to the Magoo.
Sir, he doesn't. You see, if I tell him my real name, he's going to be like, yeah, Shadrach Chaparro's in jail. He's in TGK.
So,
right? And I'm calling him because the bond is $500,000.
See, yeah, he does call me. So you have to die to that old man and be risen up with Christ. Listen, it has to be 100%. This is the hard part that a lot of people don't understand. The Bible says that very few find it, and that is mind-blowing. Wide and broad is the gate that many go through, but very few find that narrow road. No one wants to suffer, man.
I think, being a musician, you could always change the musician character because, I don't have to continue doing hip hop anymore. I can change to contemporary, right? Mm-hmm. And I can still keep this character I built. I think the character is very nice. It just gives you a different perspective than me, Shadrach Chaparro, the kid that's like been homeless out on the street, kicking pastors in the knee, But I think it gives me a character where I can fall to, and I can write children books, and it gives me a place other than myself. But Shadrach being me and going through an experience of life, I think at this stage of my life I am contemporary, content with my life, and that second chance you was telling me about, mm-hmm. I think I got it, and I think whether or not I want to go down this narrow path, I think I'm gonna be like a caterpillar on a leaf that's getting blown down this path. Like whether or not I want to be down this path,
right?
I think that this is just my home and belief in what I believe in, and regardless of that faith of not making it as a rapper or something like that, I think that I found a home where I think like. I know if I backslide, it's more fire. But hey, look, God, if I'm in this fire, my name's Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Let's go. What?
Mike, you got anything to throw his way?
Yeah, I think that was the thing you keep. It sounds like you just kept defaulting to women or defaulting to your music, and that was the thing. It was kind of just a clarification of like, do you believe Jesus is the only way, the truth, and the life? Or do you just kind of paint a broad brush about every religion? Well, if you believe what you believe, we'll all make it to heaven. Like, where's your foundation?
I think death is the foundation. Where I think when they say if you're walking like, or acting like, or behaving like. I mean, you can read that in any scripture or any religion. I think everybody has that same broad aspect. But I think when Jesus Christ died, we know that somebody can actually die and go to heaven. And it's real, heaven and hell. So I think I've made my choice already to believe that he died for our sins. And I think I made my choice that there is a heaven. And I think I made my choice that if Jesus didn't do the right thing, he would have went to hell.
You said that Jesus would have gone to hell?
I mean,
no. He is God.
I know, but I think he probably would have hey, let me walk through hell for a second. Didn't he walk through hell for a second? I think he would, if he didn't,
right,
he would have had a moment where, hey, look, realizing, hey, look, man, there is a heaven, man, and I have way much better, and it's more probably greater up there. I'm not telling him what to do or not, Jesus.
Just for you to know, Jesus is God.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he would be judge. He is the judge,
Yeah.
And our encouragement to you is, continue to seek God, man. Continue to seek his ways, because your ways, I told you this 15 years ago, they're going to fail. And they're going to continue to fail. But trust in him. And I know that you're going to blossom and grow, because I saw that on fire, prayer warrior, preaching machine, in Wynwood. I remember.
Yeah, those things were like on spontaneous. Those was never written down, scripted thing. Those things were real. Yeah, really real. And today I gave somebody a Jesus hug, and I told them, hey, this is a Jesus hug. I got those Jesus hugs in church. What? You know when you get them Jesus hugs? Yeah, I had one of those today, and I was like, I'm gonna pass the Jesus hug today.
Amen.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, definitely need that. And going back to you, Mike,
Yeah.
I think it's when Jesus died. I think it's not me reading the Bible or nothing. I think at that moment I made my choice, and I think hey, if I'm gonna be going down this path, regardless of the fact, I'm already at a point where I'm content that I'm not perfect. I already know that. That there, God, hey, you know what? That part, we never get, but we can work on it.
Yeah.
Hey, we can work on it a little further, as long as I'm living, I feel like I can work on it. And I think I will never give up working. I think it's devotion.
Yeah.
You work on it, it's called devotion.
The 3 things that are important is read your Bible. You got to get back on reading your Bible. Excuse me. The basic instructions before leaving Earth. You got to read your Bible. You have to pray. Don't be making no song on that now. I already see it. I see the bomb come out.
Basic instructions before leaving Earth. A whole beat went in my head. You don't know. It's like, yo, Jesus Christ, come for you. And oh my gosh.
So, reading your Bible, prayer, but what's key is fellowship. This right here, is key.
It's times that you used to take me to church, and I would just wait there for we go to fellowship and eat at that, like the dinners. Like the dinners we would have will be always the awesome, like me, you, Macho, and say like if Mike, you ever went to dinner with us? Like when we at the church that we would go to like a
we started
diner?
in 2003, 4. That was he got.
I came in
later on.
like 2010, 9.
Yeah, so we were like
Yeah.
day one.
Yeah. But it's being around a lot of people that can 20 years later still mentor you down a road, even though like I would think of it and I'm like, man, those days was those awesome days. I would go to church. I still could tell people like, yeah, those days was the great days I went to church. And I think those things are installed on you, like you say, basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Yeah.
And I
So
think
when you say church, people are thinking of building.
no,
with the
I'm
air
thinking
condi-
temple. People are thinking like,
church for us was the streets, Winwood.
yeah,
it was the chairs.
we didn't have a temple.
You see,
Yeah.
it was grass.
We didn't
it
have
was-
like a synagogue or like a temple like Jewish
Yeah.
people have.
Right.
We had the streets.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had pigeons like all
yeah.
over.
Dogs, cattle,
Dogs,
come.
cats, bums.
But we will worship. Wouldn't God's presence come down?
yeah. And
Did you ever see a healing take place?
I seen more than the healing take place. I
The
seen the
Winwood.
news. The newspaper came and
Yeah.
take us pictures, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, the news is here."
Yeah.
And when the news got to like putting you in articles, I was like, "Hey, man, you're doing something," because the news knows now.
Yeah.
Like you're on the local news. I think that was a deep ministry. It was D2M. I will never
Yep,
forget
Died
D2M.
to myself.
Died to myself.
Man,
ministries.
thanks for coming out, man. We
Yeah,
were
definitely deep in
beyond
your business. You went too far in my
encouraged,
business.
man.
Yeah.
we pulled in too deep.
I
man.
think he pulled my card. And I dropped the sign twice. I was nervous.
And you thought it was a shot.
Yeah. It's a one, guys, if you come on here, it's a one take thing. So be ready.
Love you, bro.
Yeah, love you too, man. Definitely. Right?
That was awesome.
I was not ready for this. Yeah, you got me?
It was good. It was good.
Definitely.
I love the sign dropping, bro. That's like